Hi, Everett. Thank you for sitting down and talking to us about your research experience. So, what benefits do you think a student gets from doing undergraduate research?
I think being exposed to the process of doing research, which is very different from the process of doing homework or working in a job even. And then secondarily, being exposed to the faculty and some of the awesome stuff that they're doing. Both of those experiences you can only get by doing research.
Um, what are some skills that you developed while you were doing undergraduate research here that helped you after you graduated?
I think tackling open-ended problems. During school, you don't really get the opportunity to find a problem and figure out not only like what is the problem, but like what are the questions to ask. And then now that I know the questions, how do I go about finding the answers? All skills that have been really important to me working at Perceive. And I don't think I would have developed those kinds of abilities if I hadn't been doing research.
What would be your advice to current undergraduate students?
I would say find a problem that interests you. I think there are many different ways to choose a research group, assuming that you decided on that. But I think the principal way you should choose one is to figure out something that really excites you and not necessarily do what your friends do or what your favorite professor does.
What should a student expect from joining a research project?
I think one thing is working with graduate students, which is oftentimes you TA with, or they TA you and you work with them in a lab, but actually working on a problem with them and seeing their process and seeing how they go about it is a way different experience than being taught by someone.
Yeah. And has that helped you as you've gone into industry, worked on Perceive?
Yes. The way they teach you to approach problems in grad school and the way they teach you to lay out your ideas to a group of your colleagues, all of that has really been tremendously beneficial for me.
What's the difference in mindset of a student versus a undergraduate researcher?
I think essentially as a student you are given the problem to solve. In research it's actually very much about what is the question. So not only do I have to solve this thing, but what is this thing? And asking the right question is actually half or maybe even 3/4 of the battle in doing research.
And as you've obviously had the benefit of working both on research here and then since have gone into industry, would you say the research or mindset or the student mindset is more applicable to the mindset you've had to develop after graduation?
For me, it's been the research mindset. I'm not sure I'd describe Perceive as industry just yet, because it's so small. But yes, there are a variety of problems that we could solve, and a variety of solutions we could choose. And figuring out that maze, the skills I learned in doing undergraduate research have really been essential to figuring that out.
So it sounds like it's especially helpful for doing a startup or working with a small company where trying to figure out how do we proceed as we grow.
I think so, yeah. Big part of research, as I was exposed to it, is planning and resource allocation, and both personally and like within the team. And that's something I work on almost every day at Perceive.
What's one unexpected perk you've gained from doing undergraduate research?
I think for me personally, I went to Singapore. I had to present at a kind of conference there. I also got some papers published. Those were both surprising things for me. I kind of didn't have any plan to do those things, but it turned out to be a nice side effect of joining a research group.
Was there anything that maybe you didn't realize was even a benefit of what you were doing at the time, and then later on you realized, wow, that was really helpful for me?
Yeah, I think learning how to explain your ideas. It's much different than if you're doing group work in school. you have to kind of convince people that what you're doing is worth doing, and then you have to convince them that your solution is the right one. And that first part of the problem, figuring out you're doing something worthwhile and that you're asking the right questions is probably something I didn't even realize was important for other things outside of research.